2018, 12:06 p.m. midday review. I'm going to try and get us out of here by 12:30, so I'm going to apply through these charts. If you have any charts that you'd like me to look at, go ahead and put them in and give me a bit of your trading plan or your questions, and I will answer as best as I can. So the S&P 500, first of all, I guess I should say that the charts that I'm going to cover, I've been posting a lot lately. You can go to our blog, take a look at the swings we're in. Pretty much everything I think that we're winning on the last couple of weeks, which is nice because it was pretty dry before then. I mean, we were chopping, it was choppy. We were winning, but nothing like the last couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks have definitely made our, well, at least 2 quarters, it's been really strong. So that's one announcement. So you can go back into our blog or my posts or, on our feeds, Twitter feeds and that kind of thing, and take a look at what I'm talking about, but mainly on the blog, it'll explain. The other thing, quick announcement is next week we start our trade coaching platform, and there's going to be a whole series of webinars, so watch for those. Those will be, you'll have to register for them, so there'll be information on those, and then there's promos coming out this weekend for some discounts on the new trading center and platform. So those are all coming this weekend. As far as what's happening right now, the S&P, we alerted the structure way before it started, and it's slowly building a structure in the trend line support that we expected. It dumped into, well, it actually dumped in beyond and then spiked into the target we had for exact day and time, and since then it's been building a structure. Right now your resistance is this 200 MA on the 60, so you're right in and around 266.65 is resistance, but your real resistance is up here. This is an algorithm quad mid. Hard to explain in short if you don't understand algorithmic modeling. Just write down 26799. Basically 268 is your intraday resistance. Again, you can look back on posts and see what I'm talking about there. Netflix, we posted this one well in advance. This here is the most critical pivot. So I'm just gonna blow this up a little bit. So the gray line here is the pivot. Up above it, there's a diagonal gray line. This is actually a Fibonacci diagonal trend line. All of this was done in advance, and of course trade come into our model and traded through it perfectly, and we're waiting for it to break to the upside. We're in it to win it, we're doing well on it, but I'd like to see, or sorry, we were waiting for it to break to the upside. We're doing well because it did break, and now your next resistance is at 313.70 and 316.92. Those are intraday resistance. There's another one here, 328.15. And then, of course, there's wide area targets later on, but those are your mains. And then a big one at 337.75 that represents a large mid-quad. If you don't understand what I'm talking about when I'm talking about quads, etc., or Fibonacci or any of the other indicators, just go to our website and you'll see an explanation there. Disney, another one we've been watching. So this dumped like the S&P under the quad wall. We had charted all this in advance. It popped up, got into our structure, doing the same thing the S&P is doing. So this is technically another buy zone. We've been buying at the bottom, alerting the buy side longs, and now there's another buy side long alert. Your main resistance here is going to be the 200 MA that's sitting at about 103.82. After it gets through 102.14. The 50 MA will give it some resistance. The 200 MA will give it significant resistance. This is the model on a wider view. This is a daily chart. We have a target here around 103.70 for June 31st, and then up here is a much higher bullish target that I don't think it'll hit, but it could at 110.50 or so. So we just trade our models in accordance to the structure and then in direction of the target, and that's how we have the record that we have. ITCI, this is one I'm watching for breakout. I've got a significant pivot and resistance at 23.73, so I'm watching it build toward that, and over top of that for me is a buy trigger. Aspirian ESPR, I've been watching for a trigger over This isn't the most recent chart, by the way. The model's built out. 74, 79-ish area. Anyway, I'm looking for structure up in here for further break to the upside, and the horizontal lines that you see up here are the support and resistance lines, and you can find those on my posts also. Not a bad structured day for it. EOG we've been posting for some time. Its main pivot at about 108.90. Above is a buy. So it's just there today, but I like to see a close on the daily above the pivot. So anyway, we've got a trajectory going up like that. It's fib trend line, which is a quad resistance, is up here. That gray line, so you want to watch that close. And then its first real big test is at 119.87, another one at 128.15, and the biggest one at 134.10. That one comes in somewhere around August, beginning of August. So we don't expect, big ROI, but big enough if it's structured. AAOI, my nemesis from last year, one of the few that I'm underwater on, but definitely underwater on this one. It's getting structured to the upside. I'm looking now to about 32.79. Again, I posted on this one. It's trading very technically. It sat on its 50 MA there today, and it's slowly building structure, and we'll see how it does here. But there's more on that to come, and there have been posts on it. Oil, this monthly chart we've been posting for months, and oil is now 66.69 on US oil WTI FX. This is actually a 50% retracement line from the last dump on the monthly. So when oil slid on its cascading record-setting slide. So this is a large structural chart, and that's why over the last 4 months it's had a difficult time getting up over that, and also the 200 MA. But it's beating the 200 MA. It's just a matter of it getting up over that Fibonacci technical. So we're watching that very close. By the way, we just hit a beautiful day trade on oil. Couldn't have been executed better. There's going to be a video and blog about that later, but we caught it all live. Tesla, here again, I mean, it looks psychedelic, I know, but this is an algorithm model. We posted this structure in advance and got in it to win it down here, and it's been a fantastic trade. By the way, all of these have been fantastic trades. We're on the right side of everything right now, I think. Citigroup, so C, I posted earlier today, it's coming up near its 200. Again, here's another example of a quad. It got right down into the pivot, quad wall, bounced, and of course we were alerting the long side bias, and the 200 MA is just above, and you've got earnings. So careful going into earnings. Bitcoin. So this chart is one of my favorites. This is a day trading chart. Again, looks pretty psychedelic, but the reality is it hit our target. It actually lifted right into our target. It followed the trend line here. Got major jump today. Word is that it was probably the Soros buy. Who knows? Got into a resistance cluster here. We alerted to trim, and sure enough, it's been sagging since. We're expecting it to take another run in this structure, this triangle here, right above what's now a trend line support, that red dotted line. So that would bring you in somewhere around 75.29, and we've got a target on it of 79.69 on the 17th of this month. But if it got serious lift, well, not even serious lift, but if it got a bullish side to it, 88.69. Now this is an intraday model. We have other models on wider time frames that of course have larger targets. MARA, I was watching real close this morning. Trading 149, up 26.29%. The problem with this one is that sorry, I'm getting messages right now on our oil trading. It did most of its move pre-market, and open came. I was watching the 50 MA on the daily, and I was thinking, we'll probably get there, but it backed off earlier. So on a lower time frame, normally what I'll do is I'll bring my time frames down when I'm day trading. So it got up over the 20 on the 4 hour, didn't get to the 200 on the 4 hour. Just want to see, there's the 200 on the 2 hour. If I had actually entered this, I would have known where the 200 MA sat on all these time frames. So that's interesting. I'm not sure, it must have been, I'm not sure what backed it off, but MARA into next week, I'm going to be looking for that 50 MA on the daily, which doesn't give it a lot of upside, close to $2, but I'm expecting that we're going to see a test of the 200 MA next week, and that's going to bring it in around 225. So I'll wait for price to confirm, and then I'll go after it. Likely not till Monday, but I really like this setup. I got to make sure I have this alarmed. MARA. I won't go into the technical reasons why I like to set up, but there are technical and fundamental reasons on that one. Facebook, so this is another one, you know, looks psychedelic, but the reality is everything means something here. We modeled this in advance. The dump came. We triggered the buy side in here. So, or was it here? Here and here, I think. But anyway, at the bottom of what we call a quad, got into our target, and since then it's been building structure. Same idea as the S&P here. It fell out of the quad, out of our structure a bit, so it was what we would call divergent from the model. And then we hit again here, and we've been trading it all the way through. Now, here's your structure. So the thing is, a lot of these time cycles are coming due. So here's the target here. That's January, February, March, April 17th at 4 o'clock on the 17th. 16742 is the first target. The structure that you're trading in right now is right here. It looks like this, like that, right? Well, actually, you know, it started earlier, but I think you get the idea. So you can bring that same structure down to here, and like this. This is why we tend to, if you check our record, we tend to win a high percentage of trade setups. Right now you see it's bouncing off the structure, so this would be a buy side. Be careful with VWAP above. This is a 240 chart that it's modeled on, so it's a fairly wide, nice time frame, so give it some room either way. You can see it on the top, it's popped up, and the bottom it fell out like the S&P, but that's your structure. Now, there's a target to the downside if it got real bearish, if something happens with the market. The 200 is your resistance. This diagonal quad here is resistance. Just go into our posts. The 100 MA is resistance. So everything on this chart is important. So that's why there's these yellow lines, you know, like yield. So you'd yield to the 100 MA, you would yield to that quad diagonal blue line there, dotted. You'd yield to line, that's a horizontal blue line there. You'd yield to that red fib line, the 200 MA, this fib line at 17835, and possibly up into this target 18146 on April 17th. So if it blows past this target, there's a chance it'll get to this one. So we just trade in, again, in direction of targets based on trade, based on the model that we model in advance. And I always tell people, just think GPS. So when you use a GPS, this is the same kind of idea. We still use conventional charting along with this. By the way, sorry, we have server work happening in our new location here, so sometimes people will get kicked out and moved back in. The trading room is sectioned, so you might get moved from room to room. Our technicians are getting everything set up for huge bandwidth for next week. It's a trip in the tropics getting technology going, I'll tell you that. It's here, it just works different getting it set up. Okay, I'm going to look at some of the alarms that went off today. So Disney went off, we've already looked at that. BWA went off. Just want to see how these setups look. Oh, come on, work with me. I'm going to kill a few of these charts now, just to give myself some operating room here. What is going on? Technology, right? Okay, that'll do it. BWA. Yeah, more freedom in the tropics, that's for sure. No doubt about it. If only the technology worked every day. Actually, this isn't the tropics issue that I'm experiencing right at this very moment. Let's try this. Trading view. We do have an on-the-fly simple model on it, so let's take a look. When these charts come up, go on to the field of the chart and double-click it to get you, the indicators off the bottom, and it cleans up the view. So yeah, there is a buy trigger in here that executed. So this is a nice trade actually, but it got up into 54.25 resistance, and so decisions are going to come. It has an upside 58.23 on the 19th. Which is interesting. That's after earnings. No, that's before earnings. So there. It's always the mid quad there, upper or lower quad. So there's 3 targets on each. I'm not real confident in this one yet, but I'm gonna watch it close. Let's just get an alarm on it. What else alarmed here today? So these are setups that we have for our members in advance set up, and when they trigger a buy side, an alarm goes off for the room. LITE. So do we have a model on this one? I don't think we do. We've got a lot of them modeled now. I think we've got close to 200 models. Oil moving forward. Give me a minute and I'll take a look for you. LITE, look at this. Hope you're doing well, Rob. Hope you're all doing well. I'll tell you, the last couple of weeks of me, man, it's been like herding cats. Hate to say it, but holy, do we have some technology set up here. Stuff they've never seen on the beach. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. What a power move. So, how do I explain this? I can't even explain this right now. What I will tell you is here's how you make this move simple. So this is LITE over 64.85. So about where it's trading now, it's trading at 65. So call it 65. I'll get back to oil right away. Sorry, Rob. Over 65. I bet you. When is this? This is June 4th. January, February, March, April, May, June. Yeah, June 4th. That's fast. 75.55. So your first upside test is, so you're long, see, now here's your problem. You're so close to this resistance. This is a quad resistance, and it's on a daily. So the wider the time frame, much more serious resistance. That's a serious resistance. So, you know, what you want to do, sorry, I just moved that. What you want to do is you want to time this. Man, this is kind of tough because it's right here, right? Like over here, it opens up nice. I'm not sure what to do here. So what I'm going to do, that's just tough timing, but I really like it. I would be stunned if it comes off. I think it's a good trade, but caution. Upside resistance 69.60 if you're in it long, 70.05, 73.35 was that? 73.20, 73.30, and 75.85. Those are your resistance points. And this is going to be high on my watch list for next week. I'd like to be in it to win it. That's a nice ROI on that. I'm just going to make sure I got this date right. Yeah, this model is this is on the fly model, so they're not exact dates, right? Yeah, it's early June. 23 days to earnings. That's a nice chart. Don't disregard this chart. I'm going to do more work on this one on the weekend. Oops. I think this one's going to be a big move. Well, it's already volatile. Doesn't take a genius to say that, but okay, so that's LITE. And then what else alarmed here today? So I'll get into oil here right away as soon as I'm done these alarms. I think we're done anyway. APVO, I posted on that. LITE now. Netflix I posted on Facebook. IOTS and Fate. Those today? Well, those were yesterday. All right, let's look at them quick. Real quick look here. So I don't think I have models on these. IOTS. No, there's no model on it, but I want to take a look at it. 1227, so I'm not far away here, guys and gals. But I will I'll look at this one and the other, and then give you some forward direction on oil. Right, this is why I have this alarmed. So this is a breakout on a really crazy cool bull structure. Like, this structure is awesome. So if this gets up over its previous and builds structure, it's a double in my opinion. This structure can do it at least 50%. So that would bring it in around 1350 when the model gets published on this as 50%, and then a double, of course, into the $18 range. And when that happens, when the break happens, it can happen extremely fast. So I am going to just alarm this here, get a model built over the weekend, because I think this one is going to go too. So I'm going to save this. LTS. I don't think I've covered all the ones I'm supposed to cover either, so let me just check the list too. But I'll do these two, and then I'll do oil, and then I'll check the list. Okay. Wow, they don't make this easy to move along quick. Okay, so that's the next week's up, and the other one was Fate. I just want to see this chart here quick. And then oil. No matches. So we got to go to regular land here for a minute. ATE. Wow, what a bullish chart. So many day traders were in this too. Way early, and I was like, I don't know. I hesitated. Wow. Nice. So same idea there. I don't like it as much as the last chart, but I'm going to alarm it and keep an eye on it. But I like it. On the bullish side, on a break over highs with some structure, and that's why we build out our models, to make sure that we have structure. Things are cool, and the machines are in it to win it, and that kind of stuff. It's just really a confirmation of making sure the machines are in it and knowing exactly where the machines see their support resistance and that kind of thing. It just gives me a bit of an edge. Oil. I'm going to look at oil here quick for you. So oil. Let's go to some textbook work here. This won't take more than a minute or 3 at the most. US oil. Man, that trade this morning, that was a smoking trade. That was one of my better oil trades this month for sure. Monthly. So here's one of my private working charts. When I executed that trade live this morning, some of the traders were asking me how I knew some of the things that I knew, and I explained, I've got a number of different models, right? I've got all the different time frames, then I use conventional charts, and then I use the models, and I get them all working together. So over, call it 67, or 67 with some structure. It's not, because it's popped over a few times. But if I had to bet right now, it's going to get over that 50% retracement at 6707-ish. Sitting at 66 right now. Anyway, if I had to bet, this is your trajectory. It's just a trader bias. It's not the model. I'm thinking an array of 7420 and 7420 date would be June 1st, back down into 67, so round trip, and the round trip ending in October. That's my trader bias guess. Now, one other quick thing. We're going to bring up the weekly. So this is the chart that caught me off guard because I was posting this for a long time, many months. Where did that weekly go? So the week of April 9th, I think the upside possible target was $74. Now, you have to understand, when this was being posted originally, you know, it was $40-ish. So the idea of, you know, $74 week of April 9th, you know, was just not possible. But you can see how, if you model, like, you see how the models work. So the reason I posted that as a possibility is it was just sitting at the mid quad, like you see this quad here. Whoops, here well, first of all, I'm going to just get you a better view here. So, you know, there's a target up there. This is a quad, right? But it's on a weekly, so it's a huge model, quad-wise. And if you're back in here and you're modeling it, you can't discount the targets. You know, there was one down here at 34.41. There's one here at 75, and one way up top at 100 and something, I think. Yeah, 113. And of course, you know, moderately, if you're modeling in here at $40, $50 or whatever it was, moderately bearish would be down here, moderately bullish would be up here. And sure enough, it worked through the model. And, you know, it got to, what did it get to? 67.30. Now that's not a perfect hit, but that's a pretty aggressive travel through the model. No, that's a weekly model, so it's big, it's bulky. It's different than a 1 minute model, for example. Then you go to your indicators, right? Your MACD's kind of flattening out, but look at your squeeze momentum's turning green again, and your stock RSI is trying to get off the floor again. So I don't know. I mean, this is the test, I guess. I wish I could tell you more, but if I had to bet, that would be my bet. But trader bias sucks. So that's about all I can give you on a tighter time frame. I can't even give you that right now. I mean, we killed it this morning on that trade. We've been killing, you know, the majority of our trades, of course, in oil with Epic. We do have a scenario here. It's trading right now 66.67, which would put it down, you know, right underneath this triangle on this model. If it gets up over that triangle, we have 1, 2, 3 targets on the intraday, which would bring it into mid tomorrow. But I really can't open the model. I'm not allowed anymore. Okay, so that's what I got there as far as cryptos. So cryptos, real quick, let me just give you an idea of something here. I'm convinced, trader bias again, the models aren't saying it, but I'm convinced that crypto's just about done its down. I'll show you something kind of cool here. For me, BTC is one of the big questions. It's funny, hey, how these models just look like a little kid's mess. But they work. But, you know, a person has to actually do some homework to figure out that they work. To stop for 5 minutes or more. Okay, so look at this model. This is super cool. So this is all modeled in advance, right? GPS style. So trade comes through, it hits the mid quad perfect here. Comes through the model nice, you know, boom, into the mid quad, perfect. So, you know, the next trade was pretty easy into the next mid quad, and it didn't get in it. I mean, it got into the target, but it didn't hit it. You know what that means? That means the bulls came in right here. So this is a daily chart. So this was 5 days ago. So that pop that you've seen today was just symptomatic of the bulls moving in 5 days ago. So we knew that because, of course, this is a daily model, so it's fairly wide view because I model all the way down to the 1 minute. You know, 1, 5, 15, 30, 1 hour, 2, 4, daily, weekly, and monthly. You know, so we get some indicators pretty quick. So what am I saying? I'm saying that your upside target now is 13,742.30, June 21st. That's on the daily Bitcoin model. Now, that's bullish, moderately bullish, mid quad again right here. 9927, or sorry, 9858, so call it 99. So 9900 or 13742 or 5940, and that all depends on whether it's bearish, moderately bullish, or really bullish. I think we're in for a possible turn here. I really liked right down here on the daily. I liked when this fell out of the quad, out of the channel. And keep in mind, these are not channels we do after the fact. They're way in advance. I liked how it panicked. The panic fell out. It hit that mid, see that line here? This is a mid quad support. That's a really serious support line. It hit it perfect and bounced. When that happens, you know that the bull side that knows what they're doing, in other words, the machines, were in there big. Look at that candle. So at that point, I started posting that there's a turn coming. So right now, what you're seeing is it's just forming the turn. So Bitcoin turns, of course, you know, 90% of them will turn or more. Okay, sorry guys, I got to run. It's 12:38. I'm overdue. I got to get into another. I got a coaching class actually. Thanks for coming out, and hope the afternoon goes well. No problem. I'm gonna keep this monitor on throughout the afternoon while I'm in that coaching class, and if any trades set up, I'm gonna come back in and trade. Talk to you soon.